about, it starts with, the Sabbath is a memorial of the Exodus. Yahweh took it as a memorial of creation and expanded it as a memorial of the Exodus. Every Saturday when we gather here, we are remembering the Exodus. See, but on Pesach, it's different. Your children, your grandchildren, get them here. It's not too late. Walk by faith, not by sight. Get on the phone. We'll work it out. We'll make space. Your kinfolks need to be there so you can testify to them. This is what Yahweh has done for me, even if you're stubborn, even if you're backslidden, even if you're hard-hearted, even if you're stiff-necked. This is what Yahweh has done for me when I came out of Mitzrayim. Hallelujah. 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 We'll love them. We'll forgive them. Get them in here. Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket. Please buy a ticket. We'll forgive them. One is obligated, said Rambam, to show himself as he left Mitzrayim. So this is not merely a remembrance or an establishing of communion, the body and the blood of Yeshua. It is a trip to Egypt and an exodus from Egypt. It is a trip to Golgotha and a viewing firsthand of Golgotha. And I'll close with this. Korinthia Aleph 11. Korinthia Aleph 11. I want to show you something that will blow you away. Korinthia Aleph 11, 23. 1 Corinthians 11, 23. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Is anyone enjoying?
Amen.
Other than Darrell, is anyone enjoying?
Amen.
Short, repetitive, to the point. Not everything I'm going to give you is going to show you Allah in the book of Daniel. Okay? We don't work that way. Sometimes we got to keep things simple.
Amen.
So even the simple among us can understand.
That's right.
Okay? And even the Haggadah speaks of 4 different kinds of sons. The simple, the wise, the doubting. There are 4, if you read the traditional Jewish Haggadah, it speaks of 4 different kinds of sons. And there are different kinds of answers to each one of those children. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. 1 Corinthians 11, 23. I'll do this quickly and give me a few more minutes. For I have received from Yahweh, Rav Shaul talking, what I also have delivered to you, that the Master Yeshua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took lechem, meaning this is the Mashiach's memorial supper. When he had said the bracha, verse 24, 1 Corinthians 11, he broke it and said, take, eat. No, look at me. Take, eat. In order to take, eat, you have to what? See. In order to see, you have to sit. Sit, see, take, eat. Sit, see, take. This is not a matter of them in Hebraic culture, which you are now a returning Israelite. It's a matter of you performing the Moadim because of what Yahweh has done for you. Watch this. He said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me. After the same manner, he took the Kiddush cup. And he had eaten and said, this is the cup of redemption, Geulah. The cup of the Brit Chadashah in my dam. This do also as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this lechem and drink this cup, you show Yeshua's death till he returns. Let me read this to you from the Restoration Scriptures. As often as you do this means when the time rolls around on the 14th day of Aviv, between the evenings 3 to 6 p.m., then do this in remembrance of me. This does not mean a believing congregation should do it whenever they feel like it or whenever the pastor feels like it. Rather, they are to do it by submitting to the times and seasons of Yahweh as Yeshua did. They are to submit to the times and the seasons of Yahweh as Yeshua did. Rav Shaul saying, Yahweh, Yeshua told me what I'm telling you. as often as you drink this cup and eat this bread, you show Yeshua's death until he returns. That means when the time rolls around, you do what Yeshua did, not when an elder board or a pastor tells you to take communion once a month.
Yeah.
We are to take communion one time a year like Yeshua did, because as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you show forth Yeshua's death till he comes. And the memorial supper the night before, celebrated by Yeshua with his Talmidim, was declaring the coming kingdom, and the fact that to enter the coming kingdom, you had to partake of his body and of his blood. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Therefore, whoever eats this lechem and drinks this cup of the Master Yahweh unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Master Yahweh. Let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that lechem and drink of that cup. For he that eats and drinks unworthily eats and drinks damnation to himself, not discerning the body of the Master Yahweh. For this reason many are weak and sickly among you and are dead. If we judge ourselves, we shall not be judged. So even coming to Pesach, listen, there cannot be division and unforgiveness in the camp. If there is division and unforgiveness in your heart and in the camp, many have fallen asleep, many have gotten ill. And so look, even the very fact of Pesach is, it is a time to judge yourself. Eat, take, drink, see, smell, and judge. Judge yourself. For if we judge ourselves, Yahweh will not judge us. If we get the chametz out, Yahweh will not have to send the Allah or some variant thereof to get it out. Get the leaven out. Let me show you a couple other things before we close. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Is anyone enjoying?
Yes.
All right, let's try that again. Is anyone enjoying?
Hallelujah.
Mary Gilby is always enjoying. She's enjoying so much, we got to get her back on the audio club. Hint, hint. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Only kidding. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Watch this. Clean out the old leaven, the old chametz, so that you may be a new lump. Clean out. Judge yourself. Clean, judge. Judge yourself. Judge your heart. Is there unforgiveness? Don't come to Pesach.
Amen.
Other divisions in your heart against your brothers and sisters? Make it right before Pesach. Judge. Clean. Eat. Taste. Smell. That you may be a new lump as you are unleavened. For even Moshiach, our Pesach, was sacrificed for us. Meaning, listen, if Moshiach was sacrificed for us, you ought to get the stuff in your life out that he doesn't approve of. Do not come on Wednesday without some prayer and meditation on the people that you need to make things right with. Even if they don't know you're angry with them. You go up to them and say, hey, I want to eat the Pesach, I want to make things right with you. I thought some things about you, I meditated on some things about you that weren't right, so please forgive me. You should see some of your looks. I'm not asking you to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, I'm asking you to prepare for Passover. So then, look at this. Well, brother, we're under grace, and you know the Lord came to build the holy Christian church. Glory to God. And we've got the Apostles' Creed, and we don't do them Jewish stuff. We not under the law, and we don't want to do that. Well, let's see if Paul was under the law. And when Rav Shaul built congregations, if he turned them on to the Easter Bunny and Rosary Beads or Passover. Let's see how he planted the congregations. And he was the apostle to the nations or the Gentiles. And watch what he had them doing. And if your pastor doesn't have you doing this, honey, you need a new pastor.
Easter bunny.
1 Corinthians 5:7, 5:8. So then, let us keep the feast. Let us keep Pesach. Not with chametz, or the unleavened, the leaven of sin, or the chametz, the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened matzah of sincerity and althea. Because the Greek word for truth is aletheia. You didn't know that. That's the Greek word for truth, aletheia. I looked it up. So let us keep the Pesach, not with old chametz, or the chametz of malice and wickedness, but the chametz of sincerity and aletheia in the Greek, or emet in the Hebrew. Now this is Pablo, la apostola a los gentiles, telling them to keep the feast. Ooh, I'm confused. You know why you're confused? Because you've been out in the sun too long. It's time to get out of the sun and into the Shabbat. Once you enter Yahweh's kingdom and His truth through the door of the Shabbat, then all the other feasts will make sense. But if you're struggling with the seventh day Shabbat, which is not the Jewish Sabbath, and it's not the Christian Sabbath, it is Yahweh's Shabbat. Muhammad changed it to Friday, the church changed it to Sunday, but Yahweh did not authorize man or beast to change His laws.
Hallelujah.
And so when you enter into the Shabbat every week, every Saturday you're here, every Shabbat, it's easy to prepare for Pesach. It's easy. Because you've been rehearsing every week. Now you're ready. The only difference is every Shabbat, we remember the Exodus of Mitzrayim. We remember the Exodus of Mitzrayim. But on Pesach, you're not just remembering, you are testifying. You are witnessing the body of Yeshua, witnessing the blood of Yeshua, witnessing the ways of Yeshua, witnessing the manners of Yeshua, witnessing the Torah of Yeshua. So Pesach is a time for you to declare this is not a Jewish history lesson. This is what Yahweh did for me when I came out of Mitzrayim. And that is why Rav Shaul told the congregation at Corinth, you start keeping the feast not with unleavened in your heart, with leaven in your heart, but with freedom and goodness and mercy and sincerity and truth in your heart, so that we can declare Yeshua's death annually till He comes. It doesn't mean every week. It doesn't mean every month. It doesn't mean when the Board of Elders approves it. It means every Pesach we declare Yeshua is coming. And your sons and your daughters and your grandchildren need to be there, not so that you can convince them, so you could lift up your chin and joy in the Elohim of your salvation and say, son, daughter, this is what Yahweh did for me. For me. That day when I came out of Mitzrayim. Father, we thank you for your Tov to us today. We thank you for your goodness. We thank you for the community of Messianic Nazarene Yisrael, and for the time we're going to experience in the Chavurah Hall and the Moed Hall. And Abba Yahweh, we thank you for the time you've given us. We will prepare our hearts for this coming Pesach. And as we anticipate the goodness of those things you have prepared for us, the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, the Torah of righteousness, the Kedushah of the assembly, and we would greet and be with one another with pure hearts and clean minds, Father, that we would rejoice in the brotherhood, because you begin the 10 Commandments, as we learned today, with Pesach. I am Yahweh. You introduced yourself to our people at Sinai, that you are the very one who took us out of Mitzrayim, and I am Yahweh who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. And so, Father, we thank you that this Pesach is not just a day of remembrance, but a day of recitation, a time when you are calling each one of us to show the redemption. Not just to study it, and not just to talk about it, but to show the redemption of your Son. In Yeshua's name, Amen. Amen. We love you. Let's go to the Moed Hall. Shabbat Shalom. Music. Amen.